killed inside her home, and the circumstances are heartbreaking.
Well, police are calling this a domestic violence homicide.
Tonight, a Greenfield woman is accused of shooting her husband to death.
And that's where we begin tonight. Charges in the deaths of 4 people,
including a mother and her 2 young children.
Officers found the woman dead in a bedroom area. Her boyfriend now in custody.
There has been a history here of domestic violence.
Police say while this incident is domestic in nature, they are trying to determine the specific reason it turned deadly.
Back in 2010, we discovered that 32% of our homicides that year were domestic violence homicides.
We know that the major cause of adult-related violence are kids that have grown up in houses where they are exposed to violence, they themselves are abused or they're neglected, and most importantly, they see a culture of violence being perpetrated, particularly against the people that are responsible for taking care of them.
Well, one of the things I've learned over the course of my career dealing with domestic violence is that it's truly an intergenerational crime. And if you can break the cycle of domestic violence, you're going to affect not just the current generation, but subsequent generations.
It's a learned behavior, and it is also a choice that one makes. It is a conscious choice to use violence as a response to conflict, and that is not acceptable. And as a community and as a society, we cannot continue to allow that to happen. Violence should not be expected or tolerated as any form of response to conflict.
This was what I knew. I grew up in an abusive household, and saw my mother survive, so this was how I knew to live. And
when you've come from being a child and my mom and dad used to argue and violence in my home.
I am a long-term survivor of domestic violence, approximately 12 years. It's components of emotional abuse, components of verbal abuse, components of financial abuse, and kind of breaking down the spirit of who you are.
I think the VA group here helps you to see all different areas of abuse.
We decided, working with Sojourner Family Peace Center, to focus on those repeat victims by getting them into services, while at the same time focusing enforcement and services on those who are repeat victimizers.
In a group setting, it allowed me to realize I'm not alone in the problems I have, and in seeing people that aren't getting help, I really feel sorry for them that they're not getting the opportunity to realize, wow, you know, life's miserable having to be in control. It's a lot better when people want to be with you because they want to, not because they need to, and not because you're forcing them to.
I talked to someone on the phone that was really understanding. It was like I was hysterical at that point, and they were really helpful with calming me down and asking what I needed.
And seeing it with my children, they're very distrusting of men, and they have a really, really hard time engaging in conversation, even eye contact. They've really gone through a lot of trauma. Currently, I'm involved with a parenting group at the Sojourner Family Peace Center that's really, I think, laying a solid foundation in how do I address their trauma, how do I work through it for them.
As victims of domestic violence, we are not looking for handouts. Most women who have experienced domestic violence and any type of abuse are looking for a hand up. Agencies that will assist them getting back on their feet to become financially independent and self-sufficient. And that's truly what I found at the Sojourner Family Peace Center, because it's not just about what they can do for me, it's more about what I can do to help myself become more independent and self-sufficient.
We know that the work that we're doing is indeed helping break the cycle of violence.
I'm happy to report that with 9 months done in the year, we've seen a 50% decrease in domestic violence homicides and a 50% decrease in domestic violence aggravated assaults in the city of Milwaukee.
It is a hard path. And it takes so much courage, but so many women do it.
Sojourner Family Peace Center in general has just been a blessing, just overall helping my children and I become a family.
It's a working process, because you're not going to change this from 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, you know, it's hard, but it's a working process that at the end, I know it's going to be good. And she will say that I've been changing little by little, but I've been doing it.
It's not just emotionally getting through the abuse and going on with my life, but making sure that financially I'm secure, making sure emotionally that my household is healthy.
Because of BA, the cycle of abuse in my family has stopped. There's minor issues that need to be worked out, but the abuse has stopped.
It's helped not just in my relationship with females, but overall. With all people, people I work for, people I work with, family members and friends.
At Sojourner Family Peace Center, we can provide as much of the resources and the safety that we can, but we simply can't do it alone. We need to have the compassion and the caring of our community, which Milwaukee is a caring and compassionate community, and we need that to continue.
I think the Sojourner Family Peace Center acts on its name, and I think it recognizes that much social harm accrues from families that are in crisis in which violence has been the way to control behavior.
We have to appreciate the resource we have right now, and we have to support it. If we don't support it, we're going to lose it. It's going to die through neglect. And if there's anything that Sojourner stands for, it's not allowing neglect to continue. We have to affirm what a valuable resource this is, support it, and make sure that we fulfill the promise to make our victims safe and make this a healthier, safer community. And we'll recognize that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but we've got to make the choice right now, and we have to support it.